Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Digital Doll Diaries. So, first of all, I want to start by saying my face looks like I haven't washed it in 3 weeks and I look like a grease ball because I'm slugging because I got a chemical peel like a few days ago. So, my face is like hella dry. So, yeah, I'm not actually disgusting and greasy. I'm just trying to actually take care of my skin at this very moment. So, bear with me, bear with me. Today's episode will be what your fetishes say about you. This episode, you may be feeling a little exposed, a little vulnerable, a little called out, if you will. So, if you've ever thought, hmm, why the heck do I feel the way that I do when this happens? Or why does this person like that? I don't understand. I'm gonna help you understand. I'm gonna break it down for you, actually. Without further ado, first I want to explain. There's kinks, there's fetishes, and there's fantasies. So, a fetish is more specific. A fetish is usually something like an arousal towards a certain body part, material, or scenario. This could be like latex, feet, like something very like specific. A kink is usually something that is outside of the normal vanilla or traditional sexual experiences, like a role play, power play, choking, praise kink. Some of these are more common than others, but out of the norm of just vanilla sex. That's a kink. A fantasy is usually a scenario that brings arousal to you. A fantasy, I just want to specify, disclaimer, a fantasy doesn't always mean that you want it in real life. Think about if you read a book and you're like, "Oh, I have a kidnapping fantasy." Like, imagine like a hot mafia man comes and fucking kidnaps you from your house. It's like a 365 days. Like, he kidnaps you. He's rich as fuck. He's like, you have 365 days to fall in love with me. Yeah, hello. Like, that's like, you know, but imagine that shit actually happened to you in real life and you actually got kidnapped and like the man's actually chopped and broke and actually a fucking psychopath. Like, you might be like, oh, I actually don't have this fantasy. Actually, I don't really fuck with that. So fantasies don't always translate into real life desires because you may not actually desire to be kidnapped. Okay, maybe if it was only just by like that hot mafia man on 365, but that's actually probably not reality. So yeah, doesn't always correlate. So just want to preface all of that. I have a degree in psychology. Let me preface that. And my job, I am a sex worker. So there is that. I hear about kinks and fetishes every single day. I actually play out kinks and fetishes every single day. So yeah, if you have any that you want me to fulfill, link in bio on my Instagram. Go check that out. But let's get into it. So we're gonna start with a very common one, a praise kink. All right, we all have praise kink. Okay, who doesn't like to get validated, especially during sex? Like this could be looking like good girl, good boy, like you're so pretty, you look so good taking it, stuff like that. It's like, okay, I'm so proud of you. Just like stuff like that just like makes you feel good. Who doesn't like some external validation? Our whole society thrives on validation. This actually goes deeper than just like compliments during sex, though. This is usually earned approval, feeling seen, feeling safe, stuff like that. Just feeling really, really good about yourself. Think about the caveman times, okay? Our brains are literally wired for acceptance and community. Acceptance and community meant survival back then. So our brains are literally meant to be seeking that, to seek connection, to seek approval of others, because that means that we could fit in. That means that we could survive. We're part of a tribe that's going to help us survive. Because back then, historic times, you weren't going to survive on your own. You needed a community. You need other people's help to stay alive. So that is already biologically wired into our brain to seek validation and approval. So sex just amplifies all of that for us. Some of us grew up in environments where love was very conditional. You had to earn it. Some people, even every day, like they don't get a lot of external validation. So when they do, This spikes feelings of arousal, especially when it's someone that you're attracted to. Hella arousal because this is not something that you hear every day. This is out of your ordinary. Getting like appraisal during sex may feel like I'm wanted. I'm doing a good job. I'm worthy. I'm desired. I'm making someone happy. I'm safe right now. For some people, this just might feel like performance anxiety relief because you're getting real time validation and reassurance that you are doing a good job. So then this like helps you stop overthinking every little part, especially during sex. This is your most vulnerable time. Of course, you want to be doing your best. Of course, you want to be performing, but getting that real life reassurance already tells you you don't really need to be performing. You're doing a great job. Be yourself. You are safe. You are desired. It relieves that tension. It relieves that anxiety. It relieves all of that pressure that you have and you're putting on yourself. Praise can also just be a reinforcement for identity. Maybe you want to feel more masculine. Maybe you want to feel more feminine. Maybe you want to be dominant. Maybe you want to be submissive. Maybe you want to be seen as powerful. Maybe you want to be seen as obedient. There are a lot of traits that we want to be associated with us, and praise really reinforces that and like lets us know that that person is thinking of us in this light that we want to be seen as so badly. Hearing those words of validation and appraisal just solidifies our identity and our emotional and sexual needs. This is why words can completely change someone's arousal because the brain responds to meaning, not just touch. The next kink I want to talk about is submission. This is another misunderstood kink. This does not mean that you're weak. This does not mean that you're weak minded or anything that associates you with less than. Okay. Usually, the most powerful people like to be submissive in bed because think about it. If you are a business owner and you are calling the shots every single day, every single decision is up to you. You are literally telling everyone what to do all day. Literally, all of the stress is on your shoulders. If you fail, your whole business fails. You are the boss, you are the leader. Maybe you just want to turn your brain off when it comes to sex. You just want to be told what to do. It takes away that pressure of having to make more decisions. You're also telling this person, I trust you to make the decisions. It's allowing you to be vulnerable. It's allowing you to give someone else the reins and be able to, for once, just listen to someone else and let someone else make the decisions because you do that all day. You don't want to do it anymore. You're tired. You just want to be vulnerable. You just want to give yourself to someone else and tell them, like, I trust you. I trust you to lead me. I trust you to take care of me. I want to feel desired. A lot of submission plays like you just want to be the center of attention. You want to be the one that's like getting taken care of. You want to be the one that's told what to do. You want to be the one that's like desired while the other person is doing all of the things to you, telling you what to do. Like, you just wanna be told to shut the fuck up and sit down and let me eat your pussy. Like, if you're a businesswoman and you're a boss ass bitch all day, like, oh my god, okay, you're bossing around these men all day. Okay, maybe you just wanna be bossed around back. Maybe you just wanna be told, "Shut up and be a good girl and take it," type shit, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The same thing with men, like, maybe he just wants to be like, "Just shut up and let me sit on your face." He's like, "Okay, yes ma'am," you know? Like, stuff like that, okay? Just submission does not mean weak. Submission actually just means that you want to surrender to this other person and you feel safe with them, which is actually really good that you feel safe with them and that you can trust them to lead in a situation where you're very vulnerable. On the flip side of that, dominance. Okay, dominance doesn't always just mean toxic or controlling or anything like that. Actually, a good dominant and submissive like role play scenario, there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of consent, you have safe words. Like the dominant should be very observant to body language, communication, obviously always asking for consent, making sure that this person is okay with everything that you're doing because they are being very vulnerable to you. They're giving you completely everything. You're butt ass fucking naked. Hello. It's all out there. So they want to feel safe with you. Okay. And this dominant person needs to make that safe place for the submissive. Maybe this person works under someone and maybe they're bossed around every single day. So maybe they get into the bedroom and they're like, actually, I want to be the one in power. They like the power play. They like the confidence it gives them. They like being the one in charge because maybe they're not. Maybe they're usually not the one that calls the shots. Maybe they like that power play of someone else at their whim, someone else listening to what they want them to do, someone else trusting them. And that also may give them confidence, like, wow, this person is trusting me. That may give them the validation that I am a leader, I can lead. They want to be the one making you feel good. Maybe they're usually the submissive and then maybe they just want to make you feel good and make you feel desired. Switch it up. Guys, you should always do that. Like, if you're always a submissive girls, listen up. If you're always a pillow princess, girl, ride every now and then. Okay, tell this man to shut up. Okay, get on top of this man and make him beg for you to sit all the way down on it. Just like play around with it. Okay, play around with it. Consent, of course, communication, of course, but nobody wants to. I don't feel like anybody wants to be the other, like, just one all the time. Like, 'cause you gotta mix it up here and there, okay? Everybody wants to feel desired, okay? Not everybody just wants to be calling all the shots. Some people do. Some people do like to be the one always in control. Okay, let me just shut my bitch ass up, honestly. But 9 times out of 10, that's not usually how it is. Like everybody likes a little bit of mix up. And if you don't really have any mix up in your relationship, maybe bring that up. Maybe like try it. And if they shut you down, okay, whatever. Whatever works for y'all. The next kink is degrading and humiliation. This one is judged a lot because on the outside, it might just look like this person just actually hates himself. Maybe it looks like they have a very low self esteem. That's not always the case, though. This creates very strong feelings of like taboo and emotional intensity. This could also be like if someone is like very valued in the public eye, taking that identity away from them and like letting someone degrade them and humiliating takes that identity and the pressure off of them. Because maybe they have to be this perfect person all the time where they're just like they have to be picture perfect. They have to just, be in control all the time. And when somebody else is degrading them and telling them like they're not shit, they're like, oh wait, okay. Like, I can not be shit for a second. Like, I don't have to be, like, this all-powerful person that's always perfect and everybody's watching my every move. Like, yeah, I'm actually a human, and yeah, I am shit. Like, it kinda just, like, takes away the perfection identity, and it relieves a lot of pressure for this person. Having someone physically verbalize that to you that you are not perfect in the slightest. It validates that feelings of cognitive dissonance, which cognitive dissonance is when you have morals about one thing, but your actions show another thing. So people in your public eye may think that like, wow, you're perfect, but then you know that your actions, you're not perfect. So then having someone reflect that back to you kind of just like relieves that anxiety for a moment because then you don't have that cognitive dissonance because you are being actively told, yeah, you're not fucking perfect. You're actually not even close to it. You're actually a piece of shit. And they're like, wait, actually, period. I fuck with it. Brain often sexualizes things that feel forbidden, emotionally charged, taboo, just the stuff that we're not supposed to do. It adds a little more of an appeal. That's why people be cheating. That's why people be sleeping with their fucking best friend's boyfriend, just like some like crazy ass shit. Or like when people like go back to their exes and they like don't tell any of their friends that like that first like, oh, I miss you sex, like because you're not supposed to fucking be there. Like that shit's hot. Like that's kind of, relates to that. Like in a way, you know what I mean? Forbidden feelings get very sexualized. So it heightens our arousal because this also creates emotional vulnerability and emotional vulnerability then adds to arousal. It heightens our arousal when we feel emotionally vulnerable with someone. For some people, degrading brings emotional release. When degrading happens, it's usually a consensual thing. Anytime that I've ever sent out like a video or anything of me degrading a man, it's because he asked for it. Like I wouldn't just send that to somebody. So it's obviously a consensual space. So, in this consensual space, all of those bad emotions like fear and judgment and humiliation that is usually seen as negative is actually just eroticized. It's just sexual now and it causes arousal for them. Like I said, though, this there's a lot of communication, consent, because for one person, it might give them a, they might be bricked. For another person, they might never speak to you again and they might actually hate you for the rest of their life. Next, we're going to talk about exhibitionism. This is the act of being watched. This is a big one because this is like a very validating one. Obviously, like people are watching you do sexual acts, and this is very validating for you because obviously they're watching, they're desiring you, they're into it, they want to see you keep going. This is very confidence boosting. This is very validating because you're in your most vulnerable state and you're being very confident. Maybe they're cheering you on, like like strippers or whatever, or like cam girls, stuff like that. Or for me, like if I'm on like a live stream on my blue and white page, then that could be a sign of like exhibitionism. These people are in the chat, they're hyping me up. I'm getting confidence from it. I'm getting my ego reinforced. I am getting all of the validation that I am desired. Who doesn't like attention? We all love attention. That is a human need, is validation and attention. This could also just be reclaiming visibility. Maybe you felt invisible. Maybe you have been feeling less desired, but being the center of attention without your clothes on, yeah, you are visible. You are very visible, and then you're getting the validation that you're very visible and that you're being seen in so many different ways, emotionally or just, physically being seen. The next one we're going to talk about is voyeurism. Voyeurism is actually watching other people, like the peeping tom scenario. And I can understand this one because this is like another forbidden thing. Like I said earlier, forbidden things just like pique our arousal because it's just taboo stuff that we're not supposed to do. We wanna do things that we're not supposed to do, obviously, heightens our arousal. So watching someone else perform a very vulnerable act, you get to watch somebody else do it, and you kinda get to be a part of the experience while there is no pressure on you at all, on you to be performing. And I feel like sex is a very pressureful thing because essentially you're performing. You're trying to make this person feel good. You want this person to think that you look good. But with voyeurism, there is nothing like that because they can't see you. They can't see that you're watching them. So you're feeling all of the arousal, the emotions. You feel involved, but you don't actually have to be putting on a performance. You don't actually have to be doing anything, but you still get to watch. That's like with the cuckolding and stuff like that. So you get to see what other people like. You get to see how other people perform, what turns them on. You don't have the pressure of actually performing yourself, but you get the anticipation. Sometimes the anticipation built up is actually better than the actual act itself, and you get to see that, and you don't actually get the release. So it's just a lot of buildup because you're not obviously actually in the act or releasing any of this like tension. So it's just like a lot of anticipation and tension building in yourself, obviously, because you're getting horny watching other people and you're not actually doing anything about it. So this is just like goes into like mystery, curiosity, and just like taking that performative anxiety off of yourself because you're watching other people perform. You're watching other people be turned on, other people be in their natural state. And humans, we're very curious. So being able to be outside of the pressure, but also experience all the sensations. The next one is also very common, choking, breath play. So this one I want a disclaimer. This one you need to be very careful with. Obviously, communicate, consent. You could literally kill somebody with this by like literally choking them. So this is very important to know the boundaries, know where everybody's at with how hard you want to choke, how far we're going, how long we're going without air, because this can be very dangerous. So lots of communication, obviously consensual. Just putting that out there as a little disclaimer. This one, people really like when pleasure is mixed with fear because it heightens all of our nervous system, our fight and flight and our arousal, all of it's turned on. All of it's turned on at that time because you're like, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to breathe again. I wonder if I'm gonna fucking die, you know? Hopefully you don't actually feel that way. Hopefully you feel safe and you know that your partner's not gonna fucking murder you. But still, you're like, when am I gonna be able to breathe again? I'm getting a little lightheaded. I'm starting to see stars. But then it's like, okay, wait, it's kind of hot because your brain is like, wait, are we about to fucking die right now? Why am I bricked? Why am I bricked? Can't breathe and I'm bricked. Okay, let's fucking go. That is a common one. It's one of mine actually. So, there's that. But it, like, produces adrenaline with fear and just, like, excitement. Like, you're also giving surrender. You're putting your all of your trust into this person. Like, are they gonna murder you or not? Guess we'll fucking see. Or you won't. Ever again, actually. So, there is that. There is that part. So safety, 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 guys, please. I also just want to like give like a little tip with this one, little like sidebar. When you are choking someone, do not press on the middle. Choke on the sides. Press on the sides, like up towards like their jaws. You want to like go like an upward motion and just, like, squeeze as I'm, like, choking myself as I'm trying to talk, like, trying to make sure but yeah, you wanna, like, squeeze, like, on the sides, like, by their jaws, and you wanna, like, kinda go, like, upwards and just squeeze on the sides. Do not crush on, like, the front of your throat because then you're really like, it's actually just not gonna be enjoyable, and you're actually just gonna, like, completely cut off all of their airways, and that's, like, when, like, they're gonna, like, be like, "Okay, genuinely, am I gonna fucking die right now?" Like, actually, this is kinda not fun anymore. But squeezing on the sides kinda just gives you, like, that little, like, head rush, you know? Also, don't do it, like, super duper long. Like I said, communicate what you guys like and everything. But yeah, squeeze on the sides, don't fucking collapse our fucking windpipe, okay? Let's not do all of that. Yeah. So, next one, foot fetishes. This is a very common one. Like a lot of people get shit for foot fetishes too, which is actually quite interesting because the region in our brain that is associated with feet is actually very close to the area associated with our genitals being touched, actually. So, yeah, you can understand why arousal is connected to both of them. One of those examples of sometimes there's not really any like psychological depth about it. Not every sexual kink is linked to some kind of trauma or, you know, anything that you like been through or anything like that. Sometimes our brain just sees something and then we get aroused, and then repetition causes a neurological pathway to be formed. One time you saw feet and you were like, "Wait, why do I want them in my mouth?" And then, you know, and that shit just keeps happening, and then all of a sudden, you're bricked it, looking at, you know, people on the beach walking with their fucking dogs out, concrete slappers walking away, and you're like, "Wait, why am I fucking bricked right now?" Like, he's got low-key athlete's foot, but I kinda am still bricked. Like, you know I'm just kidding, guys, I'm just kidding. Oh, I do wanna preface, like, no shame with any kind of kinks at all. I love y'all. I'll feed all of your guys' kinks. Chill, 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 chill. Like, I got you guys, don't worry. No shame here, no shame here. This is a safe space. But, yeah, so sometimes it's not always just, like, a little, like, deep psychological thing. Sometimes our brains are just like, "Yeah, so, we like that now." Yeah, I feel like that's also just, like, a lot of, like I talked about, a lot of fetishes, like materialistic things, body parts with our feet, you know, latex, whatever. Like, sometimes our brain's just like, "Oh, wait, yeah, I fuck with that, and I'm gonna fuck with that for the rest of my life." This could happen with, like, smells or, like, body parts or, like, textures or scenarios. Like, our brain will just make that link to arousal and sometimes it's just for no reason. Sometimes it just happens and we cannot control it. So, but yeah, I hope that this episode kind of enlightened you and made you realize why you're a freaking freak. Okay. But it's okay. It's okay if you're a little freak because where else to be but here? Okay, baby girl. More freaks the better. Okay. Let's start having less vanilla sex. Okay. I'm just kidding. You know, if you like vanilla sex, you know, the fucking two married people and you guys have missionary sex and maybe you kiss and then it's just like heavy breathing and like some moans and like nobody's fucking talking and like there's nobody like choking anybody or like, you know, passing out or anything like that. You know what? And that's fine. If you guys want to have some vanilla ass sex and that's fine. Okay. Whatever. Your sex life could be better, but if that's what you fuck with and if you love it, you know what? And that's fine. Here, I'm just going to give you guys some suggestions. Some, if you want to, this is what you could do. Okay. I'm all about that on this podcast, but yeah. Communication, consent, all of that. I'm very big on that too. So if you just fuck with your sex life now and you think it's perfect and you can't get any better and you don't want to try any of these little like kinks or fetishes or anything like that, you know what? And that's fine because there's no shame here actually. And I want to talk about that. Shame. Shame, actually, we're not born with shame. Shame is a learned feeling. It's a learned association by society, culture, our family, our friends. Like, they're the ones that implement shame into us. And which I don't understand, especially for like sexual experiences. Why do we have shame around this stuff? I think our resolution of 2026 should be less shame. Okay, let's be more open about our interests, about our sexual things. I don't care. Okay, if you got a foot fetish, tell that be. Take them socks off, babe. Let me pop them toes in my mouth, okay? And then maybe she just finds out, you know what? I fuck with my toes being sucked, okay? And I wouldn't have known that until I met this little freaky ass man, okay? Or freaky ass woman that likes to suck toes too. I don't discriminate. Whatever you like, okay? And you being more open allows other people to be more open. We're all open. Everybody feels free. Everybody feels not judged, okay? You know, they might want to try new things. They want to explore things, experience more things. Because they're like, I've always thought about doing this, but I thought it might have been weird. Who? Who told you that it was gonna be weird? Society? And who gives a fuck? Okay, who gives a fuck what anybody else thinks besides you? These are your sexual experiences. This is your sex life. Okay, let's max that shit out. Okay, let's max our freak out. Like, try everything at least try once. And if you're like, okay, yeah, actually, yeah, I don't fuck with that. The best thing, you never have to do it again. But imagine if you do like it and you're like, wait, actually, Imma do this every time now because pause. I've never been so bricked in my life, you know? Let's stop shaming each other. Let's stop being assholes and let's everybody be open. Everybody be an open book. Everybody be freaky as hell. And we'll all live our happy freaky lives. And I love that. I wouldn't want anything more than that, honestly. And yeah. So I hope that this episode enlightened you guys and helps you stay freaky. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.